Okay, guys, so we're back to end the day. We're going to end strong today. So we talked about mixing, getting a good balance across all the sounds that we have in our mix editor here. Now, once we get a nice balance, a nice mix down, we can really start to mess with it. And the one thing I mentioned that we talk about is something called panning. And no, I'm not talking about a frying pan out of the kitchen or anything like that. Panning is basically adjusting whether we want the sound to be like it's right in the middle of our head or if we want to hear it just on the left side or the right side. And we can actually adjust that with this little knob right over here. Right at the beginning of our track, over here on the left, you'll see a knob and it says L and R. That, of course, means left and right. And you'll notice that there's a little white line on the knob right now pointing straight up and down, which means if you had headphones on or if you had some speakers, it would sound like it's right in the center. Well, equal amounts in both sides. But if we wanted to mess with this here, you can actually take it, and if you just want to say had some headphones on just here in just your left ear, you could turn that knob all the way to the left, or just a little bit of the way to the left. And the more you turn it to the left, the more it's in one side. Same thing for the right side. You could turn it so it's just in the right. You'll hear this a lot with old recordings, especially like old rock music or jazz music from the 1960s, when recording studio style was new, and they could only fit a certain amount of sounds onto a recording, and they had to put them on either what they call a hard pan left or a hard pan right, which means they're only on one side or the other. But that's how you can actually adjust it right here in BandLab, and you can have some fun with that, especially if you have this plugged into a nice speaker setup or if you got some headphones on. That's what panning is, and you can control that from each one of these right next to your volume control. Now, I had mentioned that DJs in nightclubs or electronic music dance festival style performances will use just pre-made stuff, basically loops, pre-made samples or recordings to just make a performance out of. And that's really all you're going to need for that is your mute button, your solo button, your volume control, and maybe your pan control. There's some other options we could use, but for this right now, we'll use that. Let's make sure we have our cycle turned on so it's green and that we have our red loop bar or cycle bar all the way out to measure 9, right where all these should end. All right, because that way, when our needle gets to the end of measure 8, it'll go right back to the beginning of the red bar. Okay, so I'll just give you a quick example because I know you're not here to listen to me. I want you guys to have your opportunity to do this with your stuff. I'm just going to show you a quick example of something you could do by performing by just mixing with some pre-made loops. So if I just start this with everything playing, everything's there. It sounds cool, but maybe I want to start moving some stuff out. So maybe we want to thin it out. Maybe take the chords and just mute those. Maybe we want to just make it down to where it's just drum and bass. So I'll take our lead down here and maybe I could mute it, but that makes it awfully harsh. If I grab our volume control for it, I can fade it out. So we'll let it come back and it's going to get quieter. Now we just got some solid drum and bass, right? Maybe I'll mute my lead track and then come up here. It's very popular back in the disco days when DJs would start getting their thing going, maybe get rid of our drum track. Right about now we've just got bass. So when we bring this beat back in, it's going to hit good. Like, and there it's back. You could even just solo just the drum track if you really wanted to as well. Maybe we want to start bringing this lead back in here. Just slowly bring the volume up. We don't want to overdo it. Then we can just bring our chords back in. Now you got to mess with this a little bit. And you might find, some stuff. This one may not have been the hottest, but there you go. That's really how they do it. And with some practice and the right mix, you can really make some cool stuff. This is a great way to give some party music if you've got family coming over for a cookout or something like that. You can really make something on here, plug it into some speakers, and everybody can really enjoy it. The time we have left today, I'm just going to leave for you guys to try to get yourself a nice mix down and mess with it, And by messing with it, you probably will get rid of the mix that you had when we started this little session here. But really want to make sure when you finish with it, bring the mix back to something that's nice and even, balanced, and then click the little save button up in the corner of your screen there. And that way I can see that you did some work today and I can give you credit. Now, just have fun with it, guys. This is all about being creative, and this is something that you can come back to time and time again and use different loops from different packs or start mixing loops from a whole bunch of different packs. I just wanted to keep it simple today just to get the idea out there. So I hope you have an idea of what mixing is and for more than just producing a song, but performance as well. Um, Next week, we're going to actually talk about something pretty nifty. I think you're going to really enjoy it. And I'll show you something I've got here that matches with it. That's all we got for today, guys. And I really hope you enjoy it. Make sure you click save. And I will see you guys next week. Peace. Okay, guys, the time we have left is just going to be for you to mess with kind of mixing around to turn it into a performance. Bring things in, bring things out, have fun with it, like we just talked about. When this timer runs out, we'll be done with enrichment for today, and you'll head off to your final class. And just want to say thanks for being here, and have a wonderful day. And we'll see you guys next week. Just leave this video going. I'll let you know when we're out of time. Okay, guys, that's it for this week. You can just close that out, and I will see you all next week. Have a great end to your day. Bye, everyone.